After 9 years of delays in Attorney General Ken Paxton's felony securities fraud case, prosecution and the defense reached a deal to drop his charges.
Now, in 2015, Paxton was accused of persuading investors to buy stock in a tech company without disclosing he was being compensated to do so. Our Monica Madden traveled to Houston and was in Harris County Court this morning. She has the details of the deal.
Tuesday's deal brought an abrupt ending to the nearly decade-long case in which, if convicted, Attorney General Ken Paxton could have faced decades in prison. It marks another major win in a series of legal battles against the Attorney General. Attorney General Ken Paxton steps away from dismissal.
It's my understanding that the state and the defense have come to an agreement in this case.
In Harris County Court Tuesday, prosecution and defense presenting a fresh deal to end the 9-year-long case.
The contract is purely an agreement between you and the prosecutors on this case.
Within 18 months, Paxton will have to complete 100 hours of community service, 15 hours of legal ethics, and pay about $271,000 to the people he's accused of defrauding.
Our primary duty is to do justice and not to convict. So the question isn't whether or not who won, but was justice served? And I think the answer to that is unmistakably yes.
Prosecutors say it was the best way to get justice for the people affected.
And that provision mattered more to me than anything else.
It is not a plea bargain. He didn't plead. There is no admission of guilt. There will never be an admission of guilt because he's not guilty.
Paxton's defense team, including lawyers who helped exonerate him in last fall's Senate impeachment trial, claiming victory again.
Today marks the end of what, in our opinion, should have happened a long time ago.
The felony charges stem from 2015 indictments just before Paxton became AG. Change of venue, issues with prosecutors' pay, and even Hurricane Harvey contributed to the delays.
This case has been pending longer than the Beatles were together. Literally. It's been 9 years.
Now the case is not fully dismissed yet. Paxton has 18 months to fulfill his end of the terms and also has to be doing regular check-ins with the prosecutors so they can double check that he is fulfilling his end of the bargain. Worth noting, the Attorney General cannot use campaign dollars or taxpayer dollars to pay that restitution. In Harris County, Monica Madden, back to you.
Our thanks to Monica. Paxton issued a statement about the agreement to end the case without a trial. He wrote, quote, "For over a decade, my family and I have been dealing with the ongoing stress of these accusations and are relieved to finally have a resolution in this matter." Paxton also said that he did nothing wrong, writing, quote, "There will never be a conviction in this case, nor am I guilty."
Now, Paxton still faces a different ongoing legal issue, a whistleblower lawsuit against his office. 4 former top deputies were fired in 2020 after reporting Paxton to the FBI. They raised concerns that Paxton used his office to benefit Austin real estate developer Nate Paul. Paxton's impeachment trial last fall was based on the accusations from the whistleblowers. The Texas Senate cleared Paxton of all charges at his impeachment trial, but he was not required to testify under oath at the trial. Paxton has denied any wrongdoing.